All right, so you were probably online like all of us this past weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Saw the pictures,
Erykah
Badu at the Billboard Women in Music Awards
Badu.
on Saturday, April 5th, 2025.
Yep.
Now, Badu, she always makes a statement,
Right.
always turns heads.
Always.
But this time it was, I don't even know how to describe it.
It was something else.
Something else. Yeah, we're talking about that brown knit bodysuit with like the silhouette was so exaggerated.
Yeah, with that like really dramatic backside.
Dramatic, yeah. And
Those breasts was so
that
distinct.
conical,
Yeah.
conical breasts, and the internet just like
The internet exploded.
exploded, yeah.
It was wild.
So that's what we're going to deep dive into today.
That's right. It's like this really intense reaction that we saw.
Yeah.
We saw all these interpretations just flooding in. And this is what we're going to deep dive into today. It's like a case study, you know, of how one fashion choice can just become this flashpoint for all these different ideas.
Right.
Our goal today is to unpack the potential meanings and the broader cultural context surrounding this outfit.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at those initial online responses
Right.
and what the designer has started to share.
Okay, so we're looking at like those real-time reactions as they came in.
That's right, like as it was unfolding.
And then we'll bring in what the designer Mia Hasbany has to say about it.
Exactly.
It's like we're trying to decode a visual statement here.
We are. It's like a puzzle.
It is, and clearly it struck a nerve.
It did. It totally struck a chord.
Yeah.
And I think what really struck me was just like
Where?
the breadth of those initial reactions. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you had some people who thought it was like a direct commentary on current trends in body modification.
Okay.
Like
Right.
all that stuff that's getting so popular with cosmetic surgeries.
No, the BBL.
Yeah, exactly. The BBL.
Yeah, okay.
All those aesthetic enhancements
Yes.
aimed at changing your body shape.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And then like almost at the same time, you had this other more deeper, a deeper layer of analysis that started to come out.
Yeah, and that's where this name started to pop up. Sarah Baartman. I saw that everywhere.
Everywhere online, everyone was talking about Sarah Baartman.
It wasn't long at all before people were connecting Badu's look to her story.
And you know, that connection is heavy.
Yeah,
Carries a lot of weight.
it does.
So for those who need a little refresher,
Yeah.
let's revisit Sarah Baartman's story.
Okay.
So she was born in 1789,
Okay.
and she was a Khoikhoi woman from South Africa.
Okay.
Her story is really tragic.
Yeah.
But it's historically significant because of the intense fascination and exploitation that she faced in Europe.
Yeah.
And all of that was due to her physique,
Mm-hmm.
especially her large protruding buttocks.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable part of history to look back on.
It is.
You know, like as we look back at the records,
Yeah.
she was taken to Europe and basically put on display.
You know, like as a spectacle in these freak shows.
Yeah.
And her body became this like,
Commodity almost.
yeah, like this commodity that just fed into these existing prejudices and racist ideologies.
Yeah. And in 1810, a British surgeon named William Dunlop, he took her to England.
Right.
And it seemed like he was offering her all this opportunity, but really he just exhibited her as a sideshow attraction.
Exactly. And that's where she got that label.
The Hottentot Venus.
The Hottentot Venus. And these presentations were not respectful at all.
Yo.
They were exploited. They were public displays of her body,
Yeah.
often partially exposed,
Yeah.
you know, for audiences in London and Ireland.
And even worse, the exploitation didn't stop there.
No, it didn't.
She was later moved to France in 1814.
Right.
And the objectification just continued.
It's really bleak.
It is, yeah, it's a really upsetting picture of how she was treated.
It is.
And tragically, her life was cut way too short.
Way too short. Yeah, she died in 1815 when she was only 26.
26 years old.
20.
And, you know, different historical accounts suggest different possible causes.
Right.
Syphilis, smallpox, pneumonia.
All reflecting the difficult circumstances that she was living in.
Yeah.
But even after her death, she wasn't given any dignity.
That's what's really upset. I mean, it's disturbing.
It is.
Her remains were dissected and then used to support these racist theories about racial differences.
It's awful.
It's almost unimaginable
It is.
by today's standards.
Completely.
And her remains were even put on display in a museum in France
So years.
until 2002.
That's right.
It took a really big effort from the South African government
Yep.
to get her remains repatriated. And finally, she was reburied in her ancestral land in the Eastern Cape.
A really impacting symbolic moment.
Yeah, and what's so powerful about the connection to Badu's outfit is that it makes us think about this legacy of objectification
Yeah.
and exoticization of Black female bodies. It's a thread that runs all the way from the 19th century to today.
I know, it's a direct line.
It's a direct line to the beauty standards we have now.
It really is.
So let's look at why people immediately connected Badu's outfit to Sarah Baartman's story.
Okay.
What are the clues that tell us this might have been an intentional reference?
Well, most obvious link is the visual one.
Okay.
That exaggerated curve of the backside in Badu's bodysuit.
Yeah.
It really resembles those old historical depictions and caricatures of Sarah Baartman's figure.
Yeah.
And we know that that was the feature that led to her dehumanization and exploitation.
Right. You can't deny the visual similarity.
You can't.
And then we also have Badu's own words from the awards ceremony.
What did she say?
She talked about celebrating women.
Okay.
And she talked about the womb of the world, the womb of life.
Wow.
And that focus on the female form, on creation and fertility.
Right.
It really does make you think about the way women's bodies have been represented historically.
Yeah, it fits right into that conversation.
It does. And it wasn't just speculation online. There were people in Badu's circle who actually acknowledged the potential link.
Oh, really? Like who?
Tannerelle Stevens.
Okay.
She commented saying, "I thought of Sarah Baartman the entire time."
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, it is.
Like coming from someone so close to Badu.
Exactly.
That's a big statement.
It is. And there was another comment that stuck out to me.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
It was from a verified user.
Okay.
And they were worried about a lack of historical awareness among Black people when it comes to Baartman.
Wow.
And that really highlights how some people saw Badu's outfit as a way to remember her.
Yeah, like a visual cue.
Yeah, to revisit this important and often forgotten figure.
It's like she was trying to bring Baartman back into the conversation.
Exactly. And I think it shows how art, and in this case fashion as a form of art, can be really educational.
It can be.
It can make us think about difficult parts of our past.
It's true.
And remember people like Sarah Baartman?
It's like using fashion to teach history.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is, but the conversation didn't stop there.
Oh, really? What else was there?
The online world also started to draw comparisons to the Venus of Willendorf.
Oh, wow. That's taking things way back.
Way back.
Tell me about that figure.
So the Venus of Willendorf is a Paleolithic figurine that dates back to like 28,000 to 25,000 BCE.
That's ancient.
Ancient.
And so old.
And it's known for its really full, rounded forms.
Okay.
And archaeologists and historians generally interpret it as a symbol of fertility, feminine power, and beauty in prehistoric cultures.
Interesting. So we've got this figure from like thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
That's all about feminine power.
And Badu actually made some interesting Instagram posts.
Oh, really?
Referencing Venus.
Interesting.
So it seems like she was playing with these different references on purpose.
Layering them, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
How do we connect this ancient symbol with Sarah Baartman's story?
It's a good question.
Is it more about celebrating all feminine forms? Maybe.
Or is it about contrasting this timeless symbol with a specific case of historical exploitation?
It's really complex, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, the Venus of Willendorf is this, like...
archetype.
Yeah, this archetype.
It's a female form and its ability to give life.
Yeah.
And when you put that next to Sarah Baartman's story, it makes you think about how differently those forms have been perceived.
Yeah, especially for Black women.
Right. It highlights the fact that people have always been fascinated with the female form.
Yeah, across millennia.
But that hasn't always translated into respect.
No, not at all.
And that brings us to the designer.
Maya Hosbany.
Yeah. What has she said about the inspiration behind the outfit?
Well, she's been careful not to give us one definitive interpretation.
Okay.
She said that ultimately the meaning is up to Erykah Badu to reveal.
Right.
But she did say that there were a lot of different reference points that went into the design.
Okay.
So it sounds like she was intentionally layering those meanings.
Yeah, like we were saying.
And I thought it was interesting that Hosbany was happy with the conversation the outfit started.
Yeah, she sees it as a good thing.
Yeah, like all this talk about femininity and the way feminine bodies are interpreted.
Right, and especially Black women's bodies in both the past and the present.
That's a big deal.
It is, and it's really interesting that even without a clear explanation from Badu, the designer sees all this conversation as a success.
Yeah.
It's made people think critically about body image,
Yeah.
historical representation, and how people look at Black female bodies.
This is pretty impactful.
It is, regardless of what Badu intended.
Right. It's clear that the outfit has resonated with people.
It has.
And it's made them engage with some really tough issues.
Exactly.
And it's worth pointing out that when all this was happening, Erykah Badu hadn't said anything about the inspiration behind the outfit.
So she was silent on the issue.
Yeah, and that silence just made all the different interpretations louder.
It's true. The fact that she didn't clarify right away left room for all these different readings, and it made people think more deeply about the outfit itself.
Yeah.
And the history and culture behind it.
It's like art that makes you think.
Yeah, instead of giving you easy answers.
Exactly.
Thought-provoking.
So we've got all these interpretations of this one outfit. It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
First, we have the idea that it's a commentary on today's body modification trends.
Right, like the BBL and all that.
Yeah, and then there's the really strong connection to Sarah Baartman.
Yeah.
And that makes us think about historical exploitation and objectification.
It's a powerful reminder.
And then we also have these links to ancient symbols of femininity.
Right, like the Venus of Willendorf.
Exactly. And that gives us a broader perspective on how people have always been fascinated with the female form.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, and it's important to remember what the designer said about the importance of having this conversation.
Yes.
Whether Badu was directly referencing Baartman, or ancient fertility figures, or modern trends,
right,
or maybe all of the above.
Who knows?
We don't know, but the outfit has definitely started a crucial conversation.
For sure.
About how we see and understand feminine bodies.
Yeah.
Especially Black women's bodies throughout history.
Absolutely.
It really makes you think about our culture today.
Yeah.
That one fashion choice can lead to all these different historical, social, and artistic interpretations.
Pretty amazing.
It is. It really makes you wonder what other seemingly simple moments might have deeper meanings.
It makes you think about all those things we just glance over.
Yeah, if we just took the time to really look at them.
And think about them.
It's like we all need to do our own deep dives.
I think you're right.
Into everything around us.
It's a good reminder.
It is.
To pay attention.
To pay attention, yeah.
To really look.
To really look.